Imagine standing on the edge of the Pacific Ocean. Nothing but water stretches to the horizon. It looks peaceful, silent, almost empty. But beneath those waves lies a world we've barely explored. A place so dark that sunlight has never reached it. A place where the pressure is powerful enough to crush a submarine. A place where strange creatures have evolved in complete darkness for millions of years. And somewhere down there, in 1997, scientists heard something. Not a whale, not an earthquake, not a submarine. A sound so powerful that it traveled across more than 5,000 kilometers of the Pacific Ocean. No one knew what had made it. For years, the ocean kept it secret. Scientists eventually gave this mysterious sound a name, the bloop. But even today, many people still ask the same question. What was it? To answer that question, we have to go back to a time when the world's oceans were being listened to for a completely different reason. Long before anyone had heard of the bloop, the United States had already filled the oceans with ears. Not human ears, machines. During the Cold War, the greatest fear wasn't an invasion from land. It was something hidden beneath the sea. Soviet nuclear submarines. These submarines could disappear beneath thousands of meters of water and remain undetected for weeks. If war ever broke out, finding them quickly could mean the difference between survival or nuclear destruction. So the US Navy created one of the most secret underwater surveillance systems ever built. It was called SOSUS, the Sound Surveillance System. Instead of using satellites, instead of using ships, SOSUS relied on enormous underwater microphones known as hydrophones. These hydrophones were placed across vast areas of the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. They didn't record pictures, they recorded sound. Every whale call, every underwater earthquake, every volcanic eruption, every passing submarine. The ocean might look silent from above, but beneath the surface, it never truly stops making noise. Scientists quickly discovered something fascinating. Sound travels incredibly well underwater, far better than through air. Some sounds can travel thousands of kilometers without disappearing. That meant a single unusual sound could be heard across an entire ocean. Nobody imagined that one day, those hydrophones would record something unlike anything ever heard before. August 1997. It was just another day. Hydrophones across the Pacific Ocean continued recording the endless soundtrack of Earth's largest ocean. Whales, ice movements, distant earthquakes, nothing unusual. Until suddenly, one signal appeared. At first, it didn't seem possible. The sound was enormous. It wasn't just loud, it was incredibly powerful. So powerful that multiple hydrophone stations detected it. The signal stretched across thousands of kilometers. Researchers replayed it again and again. The sound rose rapidly in frequency before fading away. It lasted just over 1 minute. Nobody had ever cataloged anything quite like it. There was no obvious explanation. No nearby earthquake. No volcanic eruption. No known submarine. Just a sound. Coming from somewhere deep beneath the Pacific Ocean. At first, scientists assumed the answer would be simple. The ocean produces strange sounds all the time. Whales communicate across vast distances. Volcanoes erupt beneath the seafloor. Icebergs crack apart with explosive force. Most mysterious recordings eventually receive a perfectly ordinary explanation. But this one didn't. The signal looked different. It sounded different. And it came from one of the most remote parts of the Pacific Ocean. The deeper researchers investigated, the stranger the mystery became. The sound had traveled over 5,000 kilometers through the ocean. Only extremely powerful, low-frequency sounds can travel that far. That immediately ruled out many possibilities. If it had been a ship, the signal wouldn't have behaved this way. If it had been a submarine, Military experts would likely have recognized it. If it had been a whale, it would have been unlike anything ever recorded before. Every answer seemed to create another question. Scientists began comparing the bloop with thousands of recordings already stored in their databases. Whale calls, earthquakes, underwater volcanoes, submarines. Nothing matched. Then someone noticed something even stranger. The frequency of the sound changed rapidly over time. That wasn't impossible, but it was unusual. Some marine animals can change frequency while communicating, but not at this scale. Could an unknown species be responsible? Nobody seriously claimed that at first, but the possibility couldn't be ruled out. After all, the deep ocean remains one of the least explored environments on Earth. The deeper scientists looked, the stranger the mystery became. One question kept returning. If this wasn't made by a submarine, and it wasn't made by an earthquake, could it have been alive? It sounds unbelievable. But in the late 1990s, researchers couldn't completely dismiss the idea. Not because they believed in sea monsters, but because the deep ocean is still one of the least explored places on Earth. Think about that for a moment. More than 70% of our planet is covered by ocean. Yet we've mapped the surface of Mars in greater detail than much of Earth's own seafloor. Millions of square kilometers remain almost completely unexplored. Entire mountain ranges, massive underwater volcanoes, even ecosystems unlike anything on land, have been discovered only in recent decades. If landscapes that enormous can remain hidden, could large animals remain hidden too? It wasn't an unreasonable question. History had already shown that nature is capable of surprising us. For centuries, sailors told stories about giant squid, enormous tentacled creatures attacking ships in the darkness. Scientists laughed. They dismissed the stories as myths until they found evidence. Then, in 2004, researchers captured the first photographs of a live giant squid in its natural habitat. Something people had doubted for hundreds of years turned out to be real. It wasn't a monster, but it proved something important. The deep ocean could still hide animals almost no human had ever seen. Even today, scientists continue discovering species unlike anything imagined. Fish with transparent heads, creatures that produce their own light, animals surviving near boiling hydrothermal vents. Life exists in places once thought impossible. So, when people asked, what if the bloop came from a giant unknown creature? The idea sounded exciting, but science demands evidence. And evidence was exactly what researchers didn't have. Then came another challenge. If the bloop had truly been made by a living creature, how large would that creature need to be? Some estimates suggested far larger than a blue whale, far larger than any known marine animal. The internet loved that idea. Images of gigantic monsters spread everywhere. People connected the bloop to fictional creatures, ancient legends, even Lovecraft's stories about enormous beings sleeping beneath the sea. But scientists weren't interested in legends. They wanted measurements, data, evidence, and the evidence kept pointing somewhere else. Not toward an animal, but toward something even more powerful. Something capable of producing enormous amounts of energy, without being alive at all. Years passed. The mystery remained, but slowly, a different explanation began to emerge, not from the Pacific Ocean itself, but from thousands of kilometers away, near Antarctica. Researchers noticed something strange. Several recordings made near massive Antarctic ice sheets looked surprisingly similar to the bloop. Could moving ice really create sounds powerful enough to cross an ocean? At first, it seemed almost impossible. But as more recordings were collected, the pieces slowly began to fit together. And for the first time, scientists believed they might finally be getting close to the truth. For years, scientists searched for answers. Then they noticed something unexpected. Recordings from Antarctica sounded remarkably similar to the bloop. When massive icebergs crack, collide, or break apart beneath the ocean, they create enormous low-frequency sounds. Sounds powerful enough to travel thousands of kilometers through seawater. As more recordings were analyzed, the evidence became clear. The bloop most likely wasn't an unknown creature. It wasn't a submarine. It wasn't something supernatural. It was probably the sound of Antarctic ice breaking apart deep beneath the ocean. After years of mystery, science finally had its answer. Even if the bloop has a likely explanation, the ocean is still filled with mysteries. More than 80% of it remains unexplored. New species are discovered every year. Strange sounds continue to be recorded. Most are eventually explained. Some aren't. The bloop reminds us that our planet still has places we've barely begun to understand. Sometimes, the greatest mysteries aren't found in space. They're hidden beneath the waves.